Aljamaah says it's pushing to co-govern in at least 6 municipalities in the country. The party launched its election manifesto in Kliptown this afternoon. Our reporter Malungelo Booi was there and joins us live now to speak to us about some of the promises that were made. Malu, good evening to you. Why Kliptown?
Well, interestingly, Kliptown falls under Ward 18, and that ward consists of Eldorado Park, Newzroom and many other communities. And it has about, 40,000 people. And if you look into the 2016 local government election, that ward was won by the Democratic Alliance. But in the recent by-elections, Patriotic Alliance took that ward. Now, Bongi, there's about, 18,000 people in 2016 local government elections that voted in that particular ward. So this area is actually quite central, as well as, to communities in Soweto. So Aljamaah took their election manifesto to that particular area. And also looking at the people that attended, in fact, that election manifesto, it was mainly people like me and you, Bongi, who come from the nearby communities, listening, in fact, to what Aljamaah is promising, South Africans, if really they are given a chance to co-govern in some of the municipalities that it's targeting.
I'm very interested, Malungelo, especially because when you are in Kliptown, the contrast is very clear. You have Freedom Square, not very far from the squalor that people are living in Kliptown. What promises then were made by the Aljamaah leader, especially when you think of the by-election, as you've mentioned, it looks like this is a award that could be up for grabs for anybody. So what were some of the promises that he made?
There's 2 or 3 things that stood out for me, Bongi. One of the things that they're talking about the issue of housing, which we know is a massive problem, not only here in Gauteng or in Johannesburg. It's a major problem in other cities and other communities. So what they're saying that in cities where they co-govern, what they want to see is government land in municipalities being used to build houses for the homeless and also backyard dwellers. For so many years, we know how backyard dwellers and the homeless have actually taken to the streets demanding housing from government. So Aljamaah is saying that that's one of the things that they want prioritized. So we know the housing backlog in the country, it stands at around 3 million, and we know the majority of that is in provinces like the Gauteng, Northwest, and in the Western Cape. But they're also saying, Bongi, that they want municipalities where they co-govern to have an employment desk that will target those that have matric. Now, you and I know this too well, that already, if we're talking about unemployment in this country, it stands at 34.4%, and that's about 7.8 million people. And most of those people are young South Africans. So Aljamaah is saying that it's important for municipalities to set up these desks, these employment desks that will target young people. But they've also been highlighting some of the successes, Bongi, in municipalities where they co-govern. For example, here in Johannesburg, they're saying that the city has been able to pass what they call a green building bill. They're saying that they pushed for that. That bill is essentially helping us in the city of Johannesburg to be able to mitigate the effects of climate change.
And finally, Malungelo, one of the things that is always very, important to watch in such instances is the reception of the crowd, because these are the people that are listening to what is being presented to them. Did we have any conversation with some of those in attendance? Do they trust what they've been told?
Well, interestingly, Bongi, most of the people that were there were already wearing T-shirts of Aljamaah. So I don't know what to read that, but whether, it's something else to wear a party belonging to a political party, but when voting day comes, that does not necessarily mean that you would essentially vote for that party. But I must say, though, Aljamaah has not done very, very well in some local municipalities. If you look into, the national picture, they only have about, 10 councillors in some of the municipalities in KwaZulu-Natal, here in Gauteng, as well well as in the Eastern Cape, but in the Western Cape rather. But they're saying that they're hoping that they'll have more, councillors in some of the country's municipalities, which will, in a way, be able to give them a balance of power, so that they can be able to make crucial decisions.
It'll be interesting to see, Malungelo, if they do in fact get their way. That's our reporter, Malungelo Booi, who was watching that manifesto launched by Aljama-ah.